So I was very close to putting on the gold put spread, but I don't like the idea of being directional. And the margining and stuff, it was like I was kind of pushing it. I was pushing it. Even as an iron condor, I was just looking at potential iron condor in GC or gold, whatever. Um, so the vision that I have for gold, um, it's just it's directional. You see my problem? Like it's a directional bet. So, but one thing we know is that we have very high debt levels in most of the westernized world. And another thing we know is that when you have high inflation rates, debt levels seem to disappear, right? So high inflation, debt disappears. Lower inflation, debt reappears. Um, right. So what does this tell me? This tells me that we're up here. So if debts were to become normal again, well, we'd have to go through a process of very, very big negative real interest rates. And it gets more complicated than that. Okay, because yeah, it gets more complicated. So gold actually has a sort of model to it, where in TCJ they correlated it to the CPI, but that's not correct. Gold doesn't move because of CPI. Gold moves because of real interest rates. They should have correlated it to that. So if you look at tip bonds and gold, they are brothers pretty much. Tip bonds and gold are like the same thing. Okay? Except tip bonds they give you paper, and gold they give you gold. So, but you can model the price of gold really well. So, like right here, you have these huge negative real interest rates. And then here, we had that spike there, and Volcker came in and had huge real rates. So what's the point of owning gold, right? And then got crushed. So that's something that we know now. The next aspect of this is, well, what if we have a deflationary scenario, right? And that's another little caveat. So hold on a sec. So that's the next interesting situation. So right here you have the Swiss 10-year bond. Okay, it is negative. Okay, and it can go very negative. So let's say you have a nominal yield that is, so you have an inflation rate of -2, right? Well, if the central bank prints enough money to get nominal yields on bonds down to -5, you still have negative real interest rates. Right? So it should help gold out. And that's kind of what you see here. So, gold is a pretty good asset. Not only does it function as an inflation hedge, but if interest rates get crushed, it also helps you out there too. So here you have, here rates go up in Switzerland, so gold gets crushed. Now, rates go down, they go way down, so we're talking -0.5 here, and you have that little spike, okay? You have that little spike, so that's kind of showing me that even if you have deflation, the model for gold can still be an up move. Okay, I don't know how long that might take, but it can definitely still go up, even if there's a deflationary scenario, because you can have, which is kind of insane, but yeah, you could have negative nominal rates that just, create negative real interest rates. So, right. So that's sort of the theory. That's why it's like, I should be long this thing. Especially with that huge debt overhang. When we had the debt so high, what happened afterwards, right? It took some time though, right? Some 30 years or so. But yeah, we're in that situation. Like you wouldn't want to buy gold down here where debt levels are low, right? Here you would have gotten crushed. From here to here, you would have gotten crushed, right? Low inflation, low debt here, you would have gotten crushed. Gold went nowhere. It essentially went sideways, right? Throughout that whole time period, it just kind of went sideways. Now, the only slight other problem that you could have is the Japanese situation. So this is sort of where my thinking is just like, I don't know where else to take it. Let's see, Japan 10-year bond and our inflation rate. Let's see, Japan inflation rate. Okay. So Japan is quite the different sort of thing. They're still indebted. They're still they have real rates over there. So I don't know how long it's gonna last, but they've been at it 30 years. Real rates for 30 years plus. So, and that leads me to be non-directional, you see, because if I was in the Japan market, when Japan got crushed, I would really want to be, we're talking 1990 to 2017. We're talking 30 years, that is a long time. So, or 27 years. That's a very long time. And if you're just selling put spreads, you're taking a direction. That's what I don't like about it. I don't like being directional. But yeah, that's sort of where my thinking is at this point. So I haven't yet decided. If you guys have any opinions, leave a comment.